Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the biggest event of the summer, according to WWE, SummerSlam. Or it would be, but unfortunately, this year's SummerSlam, it's really not looking good. I'm gonna be honest, this card feels like weak sauce because of the 10 main matches, 4 of them are straight up rematches, one's a pseudo sort of rematch. One match, essentially, a certain competitor was needlessly inserted into the match, and one match that just doesn't need to flat out happen, period. That only leaves 3 matches that I'm personally looking forward to, but I'll get to those when I get to those. I'm CoffeeLover239, and with me once again is Heathy. Say hi, Heathy.
Hey, what's up?
Alright, let's get into this. I've got nothing. I have absolutely nothing. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to say? I don't even want to say the name of these two competitors because we've had this match happen so many damn times. I mean, like I said in the Extreme Rules video, that you had a surefire money-making opportunity with Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, and you give us this?
Why? 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 Oh, why? 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 Why?
You know, I don't even know what the hell it is with this company and their fetishes for certain rematches, especially this in particular. I've heard one person actually, I read a comment somewhere on YouTube that said that Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns is the new John Cena versus Randy Orton. And although it's not had quite as many pay-per-view bouts as that other match, Cena versus Orton had 7 pay-per-view bouts for the record, while Lesnar and Reigns have only had 4 at the moment, it still feels like overkill. I remember when I set the definition of insanity ordeal in the last predictions for Extreme Rules, but this just feels even worse. Heathy, take it from here and tell me who you think's gonna win.
Uh, you couldn't have said it better than me. I mean, this match it's this rematch that everyone keeps going on about that, we could have had Joe or McIntyre or Rollins or hell, even Ziggler. It would just be so much better than this shit. Pardon my language, but
It's all fine.
yeah. The one positive, well, there's 2 here that we can take out of this. This this probably will be the last rematch that we see between these two. And to add on top of that, we may be seeing a cash-in, and hopefully we do, because this has just gone on long enough. I'll take Reigns and Strowman over Reigns and Lesnar. It'll be the same formula, just a finisher overload. It'll be like on WWE 12 when there was like infinite finishes you could add to your opponent for the match. It's just ridiculous, and I'm gonna go with crap. It don't really matter because it's gonna be a cash in. I can just feel it. I'll say Lesnar, mainly because they don't. The Reigns is gonna get booed at SummerSlam anyway, so hold off on it. Maybe turn Reigns heel somehow, but it's going to be a train wreck from start to finish. I can feel it, and the fact that this is going to main event the show, they're digging themselves a lengthy grave. So for that reason, I'm going with Lesnar win and Strowman to cash in after.
And that's only implying if Braun Strowman's still holding the Money in the Bank briefcase by the end of when that match happens or whatever. But I'll get to that, or we'll get to that when we get to that. As for me, I do have a feeling, yeah, someone's gonna cash in. At this point, it's like, just cash in and put us out of our misery, and put this feud out of its misery in general. I don't know, maybe they may have Roman win for like, what, a few minutes or so, bask in the celebration, and then Braun or KO, which I kind of really, I don't know. Look, I've just got to get focused on this match. Look, I'll just say Roman for now, because really, it doesn't matter. Someone is going to cash in by the end of the night, and God help us that we need that cash in more than ever. Well, thankfully, here we have one of the 3 matches I actually am looking forward to. Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. Like I said, Alexa's been a bit over-pushed as of late, to say the least. But now Ronda Rousey has an opportunity against her after essentially Alexa screwed Ronda out of the title at Money in the Bank. And yeah, now these two are going to get to go one-on-one for the Raw Women's Championship. Healy, who do you think's going to win?
This is one of those matches where you have to look outside of kayfabe and just look at it from a reality perspective. If you go back in 2014, Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, the streak, it was like this was a UFC athlete, not a fighter, an athlete against a 50-year-old man. Obviously, the circumstance is different, but Brock would say, "How the hell could you not bet? How could you not bet with him and bet with the Undertaker on this?" But here's the thing: Alexa Bliss, she's a good wrestler. She has a decent promo, but Ronda Rousey, she's a UFC champion. She's a badass. Within seconds, we've seen it in the octagon, and there is a lot of more tougher women than Alexa Bliss in the octagon than there is in WWE. And Alexa Bliss, I don't think can hold a candle to Ronda Rousey. I mean, she was good in a feud with Nia Jax. She's been okay, but maybe a bit overpushed with the title reigns. But I'm just gonna have to go with pure logic on this, and I'm gonna go with Ronda Rousey. Maybe it's a bit early, but then again, WWE booked themselves into a corner with this match. So, you know what? Let them stay in that corner, and I think Rousey's going to win. I don't know what happens after that, but yeah, baddest woman on the planet to win the title.
Yeah, given how we have the upcoming Evolution Women's pay-per-view, I think they definitely want to have probably the biggest star, like, out of the entire damn women's division that they have currently is Ronda Rousey at the moment, given, yeah, she comes in from UFC, still riding high, baddest woman on the planet. Yeah, and like I said, I think Alexa has had enough dang title reigns as it is, and we need a little bit of more fresher blood in the title scene for the Raw Women's Championship. And, yeah, this could probably be the chance for Ronda to get revenge on Alexa, essentially. So I'll go ahead and say Ronda Rousey. Now here's the second match that I'm looking forward to for the night of SummerSlam. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. 2 old TNA rivals facing off in a WWE ring. They have actually booked this feud really well. I mean, they've definitely been cutting some excellent promo work on each other, and these two should definitely be able to put on one hell of a match. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
You know, to be honest, at the start, I was really looking forward to this feud. Maybe the storyline kind of diminished coming into the final week with something resembling the TNA storyline with AJ Styles and the affair, but with his actual wife in this storyline. It's kind of a weird one, but I'm not going to let that take away from the fact that this will probably be one of, if not match of the night. I think this storyline has to continue into Hell in a Cell or whatever the pay-per-view is after this. They want to keep AJ champion until 2K19 comes out because he's a cover star, and Samoa Joe is a great fit for that role of being the competitor they have to face, much like Nakamura, where they had like a 3 month rivalry, and AJ didn't lose it. It's just another feud for AJ to go to until his eventual dethroner comes along. So I think that it's going to be a run-of-the-mill AJ Styles victory, and we're going to see the face that runs a place, not John Cena, but we're going to see AJ Styles continue on after SummerSlam as our WWE champion.
More than likely, yeah, I'll agree with you. I do think AJ's gonna win, and they have actually been advertising like some of the local like areas actually in like San Antonio, like some of the local news outlets in San Antonio, because Hell in a Cell this year is taking place in San Antonio, which is about a 3-hour drive from me. And basically, yeah, they're advertising AJ versus Joe, so more than likely the feud will continue in there indeed, and into Hell in a Cell, which will be the next pay-per-view. And yeah, I'm gonna say AJ Styles is gonna win, but still, I think we should still get a pretty good match out of this. Now, this match here is a pseudo rematch of sorts. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I call this a pseudo rematch because we've seen these two teams face off before, like in the triple threat at WrestleMania, where the Bludgeon Brothers, I believe, defeated the Usos, if I remember correctly, for the title. And yeah. And so now, basically, the New Day won a SmackDown Tag Team Championship tournament here. First in the semifinals, they beat Sanity, which was kind of a little in my opinion. And then in the finals, they beat The Bar, hadn't seen them in a while until then, to be the #1 contenders. Yeah. Heathy, who do you think's gonna win?
This is an absolute placeholder of a match. It really didn't matter who was going to win that tournament, be it the New Day or the Bar or whoever else was in that tournament. I kind of forget.
Usos Insanity.
Being that SummerSlam is, advertised and marketed as one of the top 4 pay-per-views, maybe WWE see it as paramount to WrestleMania, but there's no debate on this, on my perspective, to be honest. Until Sanity finally, comes along, comes into their own, gets a few important major wins, and then they can feud with the Bludgeon Brothers. This is just a placeholder, just something that will be on the lower cards, something that will have a good match, but the outcome will be fairly predictable. I'm going to go for Luke Harper and Eric Rowan to pick up the W and retain the titles.
Yeah, I heard apparently they were wanting to have New Day beat some of Demolition's records for I guess the most number of reigns with the title or something, but I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I don't really buy that too much for now, and I'm really not even sure who to pick because I can't really be bothered to, because yeah, like I said, pseudo rematch of sorts, not really really looking too forward to it, but at least it's not a complete disdain for some like Lesnar and Reigns. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and say the Bludgeon Brothers. I mean, we're probably gonna have that Bludgeon Brothers Sanity match sooner or later, I guess, at some point. Probably later, knowing WWE, but yeah, I might as well just take the match for what it is, and yeah. So, the one match that I did not want to happen, and now we're at it. It's Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Oh, and interesting to note, if Strowman loses by any means, so if he's counted out or he gets himself disqualified, yeah, he'll still lose the briefcase. Can I ask, why is this match happening? No, seriously, you take that white clip. like that I had from earlier, and you put it here, it's the same thing, except it's somehow even. Just I don't get it. I don't get why does the briefcase need to be involved in this feud to be put on the line? Who do you think's gonna win?
The one thing I will say about this match is have the paramedics at the ready, because this will just be blown way out of proportion. I mean, knowing the two competitors, like the chemistry is just through the roof. I can see this going the way that Randy Orton and Christian did at Money in the Bank all those years ago in 2011, but I don't see the same outcome. I don't think KO would. I said before that Strowman wouldn't benefit from the Money in the Bank briefcase, but it's Strowman, so he can basically get away with anything. But Owens, he doesn't need a briefcase. He could just go into a singles feud with whoever the Universal Champion is on his own. He's just that good. But concerning this match, I think that Owens is he's not going to win. He's just not going to win. If the way they've been building up Braun over the last few months, it has an unstoppable force. I mean, he won the tag titles with a child, for God's sake. Of course he's gonna win. So I think, obviously pertaining to my Lesnar Reigns prediction, I think that Strowman's going to win, and Owens going to be left out in the cold, and probably on a stretcher in an ambulance, heading to the nearest medical facility.
Yeah, and yeah. Jeez, my reasoning as to I can't even think why they would put the briefcase on the line, to tell you the truth. Like, this says to me of one of two things of them putting the briefcase on the line. That either they never had faith in Strowman, or it was going to be KO all along. But if it was going to be KO all along, then why not just have him win the Money in the Bank briefcase ladder match? I mean, you could have had him win, or just not have this feud. Like, yeah, quite frankly, Braun is over like gangbusters. And Kevin did have a fine feud with Roman as Universal Champion, actually, last year, around Royal Rumble time, actually. And, looking here between these two, I'm just gonna go ahead and just say Braun. I mean, Braun's over like gangbusters, and hell, they want to push that Team Little Big ordeal because Alexa Bliss won the briefcase for the women's side and cashed in successfully. What do you bet they're gonna really have both members of Team Little Big cash in successfully? And, yeah, you might as well milk it further while you still can. So, yeah, Braun, I hope to God, wins, and I hope he cashes in. So let's do it. Now, here's our second rematch, full-on rematch. Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I wasn't completely looking forward to this rematch, but probably out of all the rematches, this is now the one I probably look the most forward to, or at least have the least amount of disdain happening. And that's because of the return of Dean Ambrose. Yeah, Dean Ambrose returned on the Raw before SummerSlam, looking like he hit the gym, too, quite a bit. And, now, Dean's going to be in Seth's corner to counter Drew, who will be in Dolph's corner. Who do you think's going to win?
To be honest, being perfectly honest here, I wasn't that interested in the feud until Ambrose showed up, and that was mainly because they've just been doing rematch after rematch, and sure, they have great matches, but it's just the fact that if you repeat something over and over, it starts to get bland. You know the old saying, too much of something good will make you sick. But Ambrose getting into the equation alongside McIntyre makes this a one to watch. Mainly for the fact that there's been rumours swirling around that there's going to be a heel turn. And Deanie Boy here is going to be the one to do it on Rollins. And maybe he does it after Rollins win the title, maybe he does it before. All I know is that I'm hoping for a heel turn. I'm just hoping for it. I don't know the plans going forward in the next couple months. you see Ambrose with his new look. He's looking jacked. He's looking fucking psychotic. He's just looking so much more, serious as a character than, his faded hair, semi-cute look, I guess you could say, from like all them months ago.
Yep.
So my prediction, I think Ambrose is not going to interfere until after the match. He's going to keep McIntyre at bay. Rollins is going to win, and Ambrose is he's just going to twist a knife in for what Rollins did in 2014, and we're finally going to get a full-on revenge storyline or something along those lines. So for that reason, I'm going with Seth Rollins to retain, but Ambrose, he's getting his revenge.
Yeah, I heard that was essentially the plan, to have it so, like, the turn could essentially happen, like, Seth would win, and then Dean would turn heel, and then they could feud for a bit, and it would be a nice little feud, actually, to have, and, I might as well just go ahead and put down, Seth Rollins for now, but, may change at any time, but for now I'll say Rollins, because definitely I think we could have a nice feud with him and Ambrose, and yeah, could have that desired heel turn that a lot of people have been wanting. Certainly is nice to see Dean Ambrose back, though, after being out for pretty much the majority of, like, this year. But, yeah, on to the next match. Alright, our next match. Well, this match, I said that one of the competitors was needlessly inserted into it, and it was Charlotte who was needlessly inserted into it. So this match is Carmella versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So, Becky Lynch became the #1 contender to face Carmella at SummerSlam, but then Charlotte came back from injury. But then somehow Charlotte saves, I guess, Becky from a beatdown, and then she gets inserted into the match for no reason. Just handing out title opportunities left and right. Woo! Some people say it's a female Roman, and some people say that's Roman level shit. Well, wait a minute. Actually, no, that's even worse than Roman level shit. Because at least Roman won the right to face Brock Lesnar. But Charlotte, she just came back from injury, and this is here you go, free title opportunity just because you're a Flair. Woo! Fuck. Who do you think's gonna win?
Well, I think WWE are just piggybacking off the fact that Charlotte main evented WrestleMania on the SmackDown Women's division as the champion. No, as a champion. And the thing is, she shouldn't have been added. Becky Lynch was on a roll. She has been for a few months now. She's been tapping out everyone left, right, and center. Charlotte came back and won a match, and I kind of forgot who she beat. Maybe it was Carmella, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Becky. I don't know. All I know is that one match and she's been added. I feel that this should be Becky's moment. I don't think she's been champion since 2016 when she originally first held the belt. She was the first SmackDown's Women's Champion, and she hasn't held it since, which is kind of a shame because she was a great champion and she's one of the best baby faces in the women's division right now. And we have Bayley in the women's division, so that's saying something. Now that Charlotte's been added into it, I hope it's a red herring and it's just going to lead to a bigger pop when the eventual winner, or who I hope wins, gets the title. Carmella, I want to say she does. I want to say she walks out with the title because they've invested a lot into her right now, but no, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to say that Becky Lynch finally gets her moment. And she walks out as SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Fuck Charlotte.
I swear, it's like if you are related to a famous wrestler that you are practically just, you're thrown in, like you'll get shit handed to you. Well, maybe not exactly, I mean, look at Natalia and all, but whatever. That's beside the point. The point is, yes, this should have remained a one-on-one match with Becky Lynch. Okay, and maybe Charlotte did actually win a dang match once. I forgot. Like, all I know is that I'm just aggravated that Charlotte was even added into the match in the first place. And I don't hate Charlotte. I like Charlotte. I just think, yeah, it should have really been Becky's moment indeed, because Becky, she hasn't held the title at all since her first run, and God, that was back in like 2016, like 2 years ago. Holy moly. Yeah, but Carmella has really not been seen as all that good of a champ. I mean, she screeches more than Melina, and that's saying a lot. Her in-ring work skills and her mic skills are below average, and quite frankly, there's I want Becky Lynch to win real badly. I really do. But if you're going to actually still have her as a champion, like Carmella, and still have Alexa as champions going into the upcoming women's pay-per-view Evolution, there is a serious problem. Like, but I don't know. My gut says Carmella, but my heart says Becky. For now, I'm going to put down Becky, and, well, hope for the best. Our next match is third rematch of the night. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. So, I'm got right Shinsuke Nakamura winning the title at Extreme Rules, but what I didn't expect was a cheap, quick and dirty squash that we got in there. I mean, it was just pin Sasha, bell rings, like, when the ref's not looking, the pin Sasha, then the bell rings, keen Sasha, 1, 2, 3. I don't know, that felt like a cheated chance for a real nice pay-per-view match there. I mean, they had the rematch on the SmackDown, and it was fine and all, but seriously, now they're rematching? I don't understand. I mean, Shinsuke needs to feud against someone, I don't know, just different. I mean, you finally give him a championship, and you have him already rematching on a big card. Or not really big, but on a big show. Ugh. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, first of all, I absolutely love the fact that Jeff Hardy is in a singles match, albeit for the title at SummerSlam. I mean, he's much heralded fucking hero, so it's good to see him in a match. But then again, I thought it was going to be a triple threat. But then again, I guess WWE won't allow, a shit in the bag or jerking off a WWE writer matchup. So I guess we'll throw that out of the equation. Nakamura's title reign is still kind of fresh in the minds of fans and in the storyline too. There's no reason to have Jeff win the title. He's done a lot. I think he's a Grand Slam champion. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was him or Rollins, but definitely one of the latest to become a Grand Slam champion. Maybe if they want to put a title on Jeff, they can do it sometime down the line. But this is SummerSlam. I don't think Shinsuke's had this is his second SummerSlam, I think, and his first one he lost to Jinder Mahal for the title. Not something you want to remember, if in my opinion. So, I think it's just one of them cases where if you're the old guard, you got to put the new guy over. So for that reason, and maybe Randy Orton will show up in the future, but I don't expect him to interfere in this match for any reason whatsoever, because he's getting investigated or some shit. So for that reason, I'm gonna pick Shinsuke Nakamura to continue his run as a dickhead heel, and they'll continue the feud carrying on to Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I expect so too. We all thought, or maybe not all of us thought with the triple threat, but the thing with Randy Orton, basically grabbing his own dick and trying to force writers to shake his hand has probably cost him out of this match part, essentially. And yeah, I don't even know, really. I do know. It's probably going to be Shinsuke. I mean, like you said, yeah, we got to give him, it's still a fresher title run. He's only really held the belt since, Extreme Rules and that cheap and dirty squash, which I don't think any of us saw coming. And yeah, I really do think Shinsuke is probably going to win. He needs the title run more than likely after that whole mess that happened, like with the WWE Championship. So many chances. I mean, what? He loses to Jinder Mahal actually twice, like once at SummerSlam last year, and once, I believe, at Hell in a Cell last year, too. And then he loses to AJ, like, once at WrestleMania, and throwing away a good chance for a Royal Rumble winner who actually deserved it to win the championship at Mania. Let's see, he lost at the GER. Let's see, lost at Backlash. Lost at Money in the Bank. 6 WWE title opportunities. All losses. Yeah. At this point, I'd say Shinsuke will probably more than likely win. Okay, so this is our 4th rematch, and hopefully we don't have to deal with this damn feud anymore. It's Finn Balor versus Constable Baron Corbin. Oh, goodness gracious. And this is actually a rubber match, too, because Balor beat Corbin at Extreme Rules, and then Corbin beat Balor on an episode of Raw. So now, at least like in terms of these two in singles action, yeah, and quite frankly, like I said, this feud has not been very good. It's been lackluster indeed. They're just trying to find time for these guys to do because they're scared to put the Universal Championship on Balor, and they literally can't book for crap to save Corbin at this point. So, yeah, looks like, yeah. Heathy, who do you think's gonna win?
I've used this term very rarely, but I think in this case I can say it. This is a nothing match. It's a feud that is not dead on arrival, but it's definitely lost its luster since it was first broadcast on Raw. From Extreme Rules, you can tell they don't really care too much about this feud. It's something for Balor to do so that he doesn't get, annoyed at a WWE creative team for not putting him in a feud at all, which they probably would do, knowing creative, they'd probably do that. I'm gonna base this prediction just mainly on the fact that they love their 50-50 booking, and Extreme Rules, Corbin lost to Balor. Hopefully they do move on because this feud has gone far too long. It's a month-old feud, and I think it's been going on for a month too much already. So maybe Balor can be, given something a bit more respectful to his talents, and Corbin can remain in the management role that Corporate Kane did, where he didn't have to wrestle as much, and he can just work on his promo skills. So for that reason, and along with 50-50 booking, I'm going to go with Corbin to get a win.
As for me, well, like I said, mentioned earlier, the match they had on Raw, and then the Extreme Rules match with the feud has been very kind of, like I said, it's like treading old Daniel Bryan Big Cass feud, and that didn't end well. It only ended after Cass got released, so now we're in this position. But I don't think anyone's getting released after this. But I'm just gonna say Finn Balor for now, because hell, we might as well build a SummerSlam streak here while we're at it for Balor. And hell, you might as well make it the Demon King streak, because just fuck it, practically. Alright, yeah. Alright. And our last and final match is Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. Thankfully, it's one of the 3 matches I am looking forward to, and quite frankly, actually, this match is definitely one I think everyone should be really looking forward to, because 8 years in the making, based off the whole promo, like, hype package that they aired on the SmackDown before SummerSlam. 8 years, and now we get the ultimate blow-off, finally. This should definitely be one hell of a match, no questions asked. as long as, their whole WWE booking stuff doesn't, do their crap thing, but whatever. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, like you said, 8 years in the making. It's something special right here. Daniel was Miz's rookie. Daniel won his first match against The Miz on Raw, and that was his first ever victory in WWE altogether because he went 0-10 at NXT. I also think Daniel, to win his first singles title on the main roster, he beat The Miz at Night of Champions 2010, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, what I'm saying is there's a whole lot of lineage between these two that hasn't been truly explored by WWE. And yeah, they've explored quite a bit, but the history between these two is unparalleled. It's just a feud that was destined to happen when these two had the absolute zenith of their careers, where they couldn't get any higher as wrestling ability and promo skills. They couldn't evolve. They're at the point right now where their careers are at the highest point, at the highest point, and I don't think that can change unless Miz or Daniel does something drastic. They are at the highest point in their careers right now, so it's absolutely perfect that they have this match at SummerSlam. I know they want to wait until WrestleMania 35, but I can't wait, and I'm sure you can't wait either, Coffee. But as far as who I think is going to win this match, I don't know, because apparently Daniel's contract expires in September, and whoever wins will determine whether they renew the contract or not with Daniel. So you could go either way on this. But if I want them to go further, I want them to go into a WrestleMania match or just a match down the line, another pay-per-view, then I assume that Miz is going to go over and Bryan wants to get his revenge in some way, shape, or form. So, against better judgment, I'm going to go with The Miz to get a win on this.
Well, The Miz is currently the odds-on favorite right now to actually win this match. And actually, I thought Daniel's contract went to Survivor Series, actually, of this year at least. But, yeah, I'd probably say more than likely The Miz, because these two are going to actually have another match happen, like, again, essentially. Like, they're going to have a rematch, like, on SmackDown 1000, which is happening much later this year, actually. I think sometime in, when was it? October? I don't really fully quite remember off the top of my head, but SmackDown 1000, yeah, it's happening in October 16th, 2018, and they'll rematch there, so probably that's when Daniel could go over, but for now, I'm going to say The Miz will probably more than likely win, because there's no way this feud can end so short, essentially. I mean, hell, you could probably actually get a good amount of matches over this. And that's pretty much about it for SummerSlam, not counting any other pre-show fodder and all that jazz, but it's kind of a shame, really, when you look at this year's SummerSlam card. I mean, even last year kind of had some more exciting matches compared to what we're getting here. I mean, hell, at least you had that Fatal 4-Way for the Universal title, which, actually, come to think of it, actually, our two competitors in that Universal title match were in that Fatal 4-Way actually last year. And what do you know? 1 year later, Brock's still the damn champion. Let's just hope that they don't screw this up in any way, shape, or form. Well, who am I kidding? They might, but I don't know. We just have to hope. All I know is that probably TakeOver 4 is going to blow this out of the water. So at least watch that if you get a chance to. But, yeah, this is it for SummerSlam in a nutshell. Once again, I'd like to thank Heathy, as always, for being here with me. Say bye, Heathy.
Wubba-dubba-dub-dub.
And, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and, we'll see you probably for SummerSlam, and, yeah, for at least if you join the server and hop in the VC. Yeah, until then, see you guys.